So, good news, the Lords did a thing. And what thing did they do? Well, as you know, the Brexit bill went to the House of Lords, and basically this is certainly the longest session I've ever seen. Pretty much every single Lord stood up and spoke over the course of 2 days. And guess what? First of all, none of them was actually in favour of Brexit, which, again, as I've said time and time again, Parliament, the Lords, not in favour of leaving the EU. The majority are not in favour of it. They know full well the benefits of being part of it. So pretty much every speech was the same, of the talking about the benefits, and well, the people have voted to leave, but I still think we should remain, and it's just like so. The big thing that the Lords did was basically they said you cannot pass this bill until you have guaranteed the rights of the EU citizens living in the UK. And this makes another big issue. What about the UK citizens living in the in the EU that have done exactly what these EU citizens have moved about? That's what free movement does. So prior to all this, we've had story after story appearing in the news of people, EU citizens, who came here to work, been working here for years, had families, been perfectly fine. Brexit happens. They've gone, okay, well, I have a life, I have a job here, might as well become a UK citizen, and then they've been denied UK citizenship. What are these people then meant to do? Their entire life has been here. They have a family. In fact, again, a lot of them have families because of this. And one of the things that's wrongly mistaken about a lot of these EU migrants, a lot of them are not low-paid workers. The vast majority of them are, mid to high-tier people. Some of them have even started their own businesses and own their own businesses in the UK. And when they've applied to stay in the UK, they've been told that they might have to leave. There's a business in Barnsley that set up, 6 years ago now. The owner of it might have to leave. He applied for UK citizenship. He can't stay. But he has 10 employees, all who, if he leaves or is forced to leave, what are about those 10 jobs? And look, thank God the Lords have done this, because this isn't just people in the UK, EU citizens in the UK. You're also talking about UK citizens out in Europe, and there are hundreds of thousands that could get kicked out because a lot of these countries are saying, okay, we're going to defend your rights to stay, which have been lucky for them, but what about these guys in the UK? Oh, I'm sorry, we've got to allow them to stay. There's no if and or buts about it. They've got to be allowed to stay. Freedom of movement should be kept. And if we are going to stay in the single market, which I hope to God we do, then we've got to keep freedom of movement. And by the way, people, all these countries that want to do trade agreements with us, Australia, New Zealand, India, all want freedom of movement. So this idea that Brexit was somehow going to reduce immigration is a complete fantasy. But, there you go. But then that is essentially what Brexit really is. It's a fantasy, and reality is getting closer to, hitting like a stone every single day. And when it finally hits, and we start to see, the economic realities hit, and, even more stuff that's going to be, completely come out of left field, which should have been, expected and foreseen it really is disastrous. It really is. And every day this plods on. It's gonna make more catastrophe after catastrophe. And here's the thing. I think there's going to be a pro-Europe party like the pop-up, like UKIP did. But its entire purpose is going to be for the UK to rejoin Europe. Yeah, that'll be another video.